a little over 8 years ago, in walked my wife, Emily McKay, and told me, we were newlyweds at the time, I'm going to shave my head.
He didn't think that was the best idea, and so he thought that maybe it was better if he might shave his head, and he was wondering if Basin Electric might want to engage in this process as opposed to him just doing it as an individual.
We started out, being passionate about this. We've had friends lose children to cancer, and I've never understood, how I would go on as a parent.
It was at the time that my wife was very familiar with a young girl who had passed away from cancer. And so while I didn't know that it would work at Basin, I thought it was something that was really worth exploring. It was something that I had a personal connection to, and it was something when you're close to a situation like that, when you see a young child suffering, and in this case, who became an angel, as we say, with St. Baldrick's, that it's hard not to do something.
Pretty soon as we started to, interact and have our site set up and start looking for donations and raising money as individual shavees, you could start to see, wait a second, this was going to be bigger. And, I write it off as sheer, force of will by Mike Egel. It grew in, and then all of a sudden the CEO's talking about it with us. All of a sudden we're seeing that we're getting earned media in the community, and we're going on shows and the noon shows and the papers and things like that. And it's like, wow, we never anticipated it would go outside the walls of Basin.
I never expected it to grow so big and have an year-round job, like a year-round connection to these families and to this cause. But since it's growing and growing and growing, I feel like it's just going to continue to grow because it's growing organically.
Got everybody convinced that this was a good thing to try, good thing to move forward with the idea that it's a way for us to, again, first help the children, first focus on these children, first make sure that, as much as we can demonstrate that there are people in the community that really care about what's happening to them. And second, to say that, Basin Electric wants to step forward and do this.
I knew I was going to have to MC with Mike Egel, and I told him, I can't read the names. Just like here, I can't read the names of the honorees, because I look at their parents and I look at those kids. What if a doctor came in and told me that? Your son has cancer.
You wish you could do more, because if you're thinking about that that's the break in the rain for them, think of how much it's raining. So it means how much more should we be doing?
Like Jen Holan, she is involved on a daily basis with them, and I tell her that. I said, I am so amazed that she can do that.
These kids are battling all year round, so our job is to take care of them. And I just think why I got so involved, maybe it's because I'm a parent myself, and just to have that little extra support, or I just think like this week we had a mom check in. She had a 2.5-hour drive with her 3-year-old, drove to the hospital and checked in at 1 a.m. and at 2 p.m. I brought her a Starbucks, and she's just like, that just is the best.
Jen working with those families, and I see them sometimes. I talk to them sometimes. She's always talking with them. Others who are just engaged in this. Now Andrea cutting her hair, so a lot of people are committing more and more.
We're going to fight this. We have champions throughout the community and in this building and throughout our co-op and throughout our company who just will not back down. They always want to do more and more and more, and that's fantastic.
We want to find a cure. We want no child to ever have to face cancer again. That would be our ultimate goal. So research is super important. But with the research, we also want to help our local families here now, today. And that is very important to us.
We're trying to figure out how to make sure that we don't forget what really matters in this process. We don't forget that these are children. We don't forget that the children have parents that grow up in our towns, that grow up in our schools, that grow up working for our facilities. And so we've been as diligent as we possibly can about trying to bring that home to make sure that everybody understands why this is important. And it's not just important to the kids, it's important to everybody involved.
We have gone from hey, this is just kind of a cute thing that we can do to raise money, to now these honorees are our family, and we continue to watch these kids survive and strive and get healthy. And yes, not all the stories are positive, but that's exactly why we do this, because someday all of them will be positive. And that is my truest hope out of this, is that someday every single one of these honoree stories will end with a happy ending.